Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy April 15th. We are on day 105 of the year, and according to 365 Tao by Deng Ming Dao, day 105, our word for today is compassion. So, how are you feeling this morning? Hopefully you had a nice night of rest and you're enjoying some quiet yin time in the morning. Thank you so much for being here and committing to this 1% of your day, this little 15 minutes to start your day with intention and read Taoist philosophy together. Hopefully you're also seeing the benefits of the compounding of just 1% each day for the last 105 days, remembering that a practice or a routine or anything that you commit to, you might not be seeing results immediately, but when you commit and you do the same thing over and over each day and you create a routine out of it, it becomes a habit, it becomes just part of your day, the way you start your day, you're going to start noticing the compounding effects of committing to such a small little increment every day. So thanks for being here for 105 days, and have a think about how far you've come and how much that little 1% has compounded for 105 days so far of this year. Like I said, on day 105, our word is compassion. So let's see what 365 Tao has to say about that subject today. Grab your book, grab a journal and something to write with. Find a nice quiet and comfy place where you're not going to be disturbed for the next 15 minutes for your 1% of your day to start your day. Get here and now and present, and remember that the best way to do that is to connect with your breath. So just sit quietly, focus on your breath. Focus on this present moment. Another good way to do that is just to kind of watch and observe what's happening around you, what's happening in your environment. If you can be outside, that's always a great way to start the day, and just watch the natural world unfolding. And take a nice deep breath in with a long exhale out. Open up your book to page 105 and let's start reading together on the subject of compassion. Once you've seen the face of God, you see the same face on everyone you meet. The true God has no face. The true Tao has no name. But we cannot identify with that until we are of a very high level of insight. Until then, the gods with faces and the Tao with names are still more worthy of veneration and study than the illusions of the world. With long and sincere training, it is possible to see the face of God. Holiness is not about scientific objectivity. It is about a deep and clear recognition of the true nature of life. Your attitude towards your God will be different than anyone else's God. Divinity is a reflection of your own understanding. Wow, I love that, especially as it relates to our word for today, which is compassion. It says here that your God, or your way of seeing things in general, will be different than anybody else. We are all unique human beings. We are all unique people having our own unique experience. So yes, there's going to be differences, and that's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's just different. And that's what compassion is all about. And also, as it says here, whatever you're seeing or whatever you're believing is a reflection of your own understanding. So that's your unique way of seeing things, and that's going to be different to the next person. Differences are great. That's what makes the world interesting. We don't want to all be the same. How boring would that be? So differences are neither good or bad or right or wrong. They just are, and that's why we need to have compassion to understand that every single human being is having a different experience to us, is having their own unique experience that it may be different than ours, and ours isn't better or worse or right or wrong or good or bad. It's just different. So let's continue. If your experience differs from others, that does not invalidate your sense of godliness. You will have no doubts after you have seen. Knowing God is the source of compassion in our lives. We realize that our separation from others is artificial. We are neither separate from other people nor from Tao. It is only our own egotism that leads us to define ourselves as individuals. In fact, A direct experience of God is a direct experience of the utter universality of life. If we allow it to change our way of thinking, we will understand our essential oneness with all things. Wow, so what a beautiful way to think about being compassionate in general, but specifically here it's talking about spirituality and a connection to God. And it's interesting to think that yes, we're all unique human beings. We're all having a unique, experience. We're born in different parts of the world. And the majority of the time, when it comes to religion or spiritual beliefs or a connection to God or source or whatever it is, it's mostly due to geography and culture. Somebody that's born, for example, where I was born in Australia, is going to have a very, very different culture and spiritual awareness of someone that, say, was born in Africa, or somebody that was born in Asia, or somebody that was born in South America. That doesn't make anything, right or wrong. It just makes things different due to geography and culture. And we don't choose that. When we're born, we don't choose where we're born, and we don't choose what culture we're born into. Those are things that are outside of our control. So it's important to have compassion for things that people don't choose. They don't choose where they're born. They don't choose the culture they're born into. So it's, I guess what compassion is this understanding that we're all different. And a lot of the times the differences aren't something we choose. It's just our circumstances as humans. And just because I worship a certain God, it doesn't make my God right or wrong or better or worse or different from someone who chooses to worship another form of spirit in Africa or in Asia or in Latin America. It's just different. It's at the end of the day, everyone is like seeking a connection with the higher power. They're seeking a connection with the universe. We're all really having even though we are unique and we're different, we're all, as humans, we're generally kind of looking for the same things. It's just a different way of doing it. And a lot of the time, as I said, that's geography and culture. And those things are not right or wrong. They're just differences that should be celebrated. So next time you find yourself perhaps having a judgmental thought about somebody's religion or their way of being or what they choose to believe or how they choose to live, invite yourself to have a little bit more compassion about that person and about their choices and about their circumstances, because it's different to you, yes, but different doesn't mean right or wrong. And we need to be compassionate about other people's differences, not judgmental of them. So there's lots of beautiful sentences in today's passage. I invite you to reread it in your own time and pull out anything that resonates with you. Have a think about how you can invite a little bit more compassion into your life today, not just in a religious or spiritual way, but just in general. If perhaps you come across somebody today that has a very, very different viewpoint to you or thinks in a very, very different way than you do, rather than labeling it as good or bad, just accept it for what it is and have compassion for that person's differences. We're all different, we're all unique, and we're all living in our own different version of reality. So I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here for 105 days, and I will